Yo, what's up, guys? This is Mojo Libido here. The Friend Zone Hoodeeni, the Friend Zone escape artist. I'm not gonna go into my little opening blurb because you can hear that in all of my podcasts. I just wanted to kind of open up the doorway to you, and before you come in, kind of give you an introduction of what you may hear, what you're gonna hear, and how I approach this whole thing about creating the Friend Zone Hoodeeni Podcast. I'm not gonna lie, I did this a couple years ago. I did like 30 some episodes of this a couple years ago. I never put it out, never published it. What I did was I got down all my thoughts, did as many different situations and scenarios as possible, and try to do my best to keep the focus on being me helping men and young men, old men or whatever, me helping men, males, guys who are interested in women that they're friends with, me helping them get out of the mindset of being placed into the friend zone, the mentality and the emotional and behavioral and mental and physical outputs that you do that thrust you into the friend zone. That basically it's all about you. My series does not focus on you turning things around so that you can date this girl. There's plenty of books out there for that. As a matter of fact, nearly everything that I've seen online basically is just male pickup techniques and stuff like that help you change your mindset and focus on getting the girl that you're secretly in love with, or that you want in a certain way to look at you in that manner if you're friends with her. That's not my approach. I have not seen just about anything online that focuses on guys turning that attention into themselves, learning what's going on inside of themselves, how they feel about it, and what to do so that they can get out of these situations when it comes to being friend zoned. Because I know there's plenty of guys out there like me who at some point got tired of being in the friend zone, but they couldn't find ways to get out, and they're probably still guys like that, and they don't want to be a pickup artist. They don't want to be in a relationship with this girl, but they cannot shake how they feel about her. Or it could be multiple girls. It could be a cycle that goes on and on and on and on, and after a while makes you feel worthless when you cannot get any woman that you're attracted to be more than just a friend. It makes you feel inside, it makes you feel worthless, and it sucks. It really does. But this is not about a know your worth kind of thing. This is more about knowing what you're doing and knowing how you're acting and what you're feeling, knowing and noticing the situation, seeing what's going on, how to prevent this stuff from happening, how to, if you're already in a situation and you're deep in it, how to walk away from this thing, how to feel good about yourself after you walk away, how not to worry about the whole situation in return, and what to do if you walk away from someone you're in the friend zone with, and life resets and you end up seeing this girl again, how to not get thrust back into the friend zone again. I talk a lot about different things, and I'm not, like I said, I started this podcast, I created this podcast a couple of years ago. The friend zone shit has not changed in the past couple of years, and it's not going to change. Unrequited feelings and emotions is something that has been going on for fucking centuries. It's not going to change unless you change yourself on the inside, okay? Unless you notice what's going on that puts you in this position, okay? What you learn from me, once you figure all that shit out and you apply a lot of this stuff to yourself, or you just learn and you recognize and notice the points that I put out that gets to you, and you can take it from there, then you can go off and look at dating and relationship books and try to score with a bunch of chicks and shit if that's what you want to do. But if you're in this position now, you need to learn how to turn this shit around now. And when I'm talking about turning it around, I mean turning yourself around, okay? But in order for you to turn and go into a different direction, you need to escape the mentality that you are already in. You need to escape. That's what this whole thing is about. The best analogy that I put in there to me, and I hope that I can use this analogy or use at least a clip of the movie, is the movie The Shawshank Redemption. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It's about a man who was falsely accused of murdering his wife, and he gets locked up and thrown in jail, in prison for a long ass time, and he finally makes an escape plan because he realizes he's not going to get out. So he has to break free. So he figures out a way to break out of the prison he's in and get his life back. Yeah, he's on a run, you could say, essentially, but part of his plan was to go somewhere where he wouldn't be found and, live his life. Because you know what? He got tired of it. No matter what he does to get out of prison, it doesn't work for him. Because he didn't really take the time to understand what the prison was and what went into the prison, being guarded, being watched, being, who was in charge of the prison or who he let be in charge of his life. And he was tired of letting the prison be in charge of his life, so he broke out. Okay? And when he escaped, that first feeling of freedom, it was a good feeling. He raised his arms to the sky. The rain fell on him. He raised his arms to the sky and was like, I am free. I am out of that prison and I am not going back. That's, in a sense, what being a friend zone escape artist is. That's, but it was a look for this guy. It was a look and turn inside of him first before he can make that decision. Because he could have probably did that shit at any time. And he's, his whole thing was, before I take this move, maybe there's another way I can go. There's another route. Sometimes you cannot take other routes to get out of the friend zone with a girl that you're interested in. Sometimes it's just not going to happen. If it's never, because you haven't looked inside of yourself, okay, to see what the mistake was that got you there in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, once you realize what's gotten you there, and you look inside yourself, you'll see it's not her, it's you. For the most part, it's not her, it's you. And this is what I focus on, how to get you to notice what you're doing and how to get yourself out of the situation, to walk away, to leave without worrying about what's going to happen or what's whatever, to get the whole thing of, let's stop worrying about what ifs, maybe I shouldn't, this, that, and the other. Stop giving chances for a situation to happen that possibly ultimately may not happen. And if it does happen, what then? Why is it happening now? Why is it after all this time you decide that you really want to be with me now, after you've dated guy after guy after guy who was a piece of shit to you, and now you want to turn things around and look at me? Then you got to deal with shit like emotional baggage and shit like that, trust issues, a wall that a woman puts up. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this, man. And, when I first started this, I was pretty brash, pretty arrogant about the whole thing. I was a little angry. And even when I re-recorded the stuff that I actually put down as thoughts, I re-recorded it, made it, cleaned it up a little bit. I still had that little bit of, ego-ness to me. But that's how you start off these things. And, women aren't going to like what they hear. Some of the stuff may have missed the boat here and there. Maybe some of the stuff that data-wise, I didn't put out there specifically, but things have changed in the past 2 years to whereas, the amount of information and books and shit like that has changed. YouTube has been a great help for all of this. YouTube has been putting things out there. There's guys who started, there's the whole red pill theory, and this is not about, a lot of guys realize, it's not about dating and relationships anymore, because it's hard to deal with that when you live in an age of eHarmony and Tinder, you know what I mean, or Match.com and Plenty of Fish. When you live in a society where, hookups are, they were frowned upon. People did it, but they were frowned upon. Now it's like commonplace and staple. And women are initiating the hookups more and more than men are. And they are holding the keys to things like sex and things like that, and dating and relationships, and men are left like, okay, well, what do we do now? You know, how do we get closer to women that don't want us? They accept friendship, you know. And if anything, my podcast series could be considered MGTOW, which means it's MGTOW, which stands for men going their own way. This is happening a lot, but it's not happening enough. It could be considered red pill. I don't know. I just consider it a way for you to kind of look into yourself, because I don't really focus on, I touch down on some of these aspects, but I don't focus on dating and relationships and actually turning things around so you can date the girl. I focus on turning yourself around so you can get out of the friend zone mentality, escape that prison, and not ever go back to it again, so that when you deal with females that you're attracted to, that want you or don't want you, you know how to act so you do not get placed in the friend zone anymore. Once I give you my keys based on my experience, based on me interacting and dealing with other people, close guys, things like that, when you hear this stuff, you know, because I got people who talk to me. I've talked to girls about this kind of stuff, and I talked to guys about this stuff. Some of these girls and these guys didn't know I was recording them. But you know, I don't have their names involved. You just hear their voice. But you hear, it's good when when people don't know you're recording them, because if they think they're talking to you honestly, they're not going to sit back and try to, okay, well, he's putting this out online, so I might as well try to make myself look a certain way, or make women look a certain way, or make guys look a certain way. No, give it to me straight, no chaser. You know what I mean? Give it to me straight, no chaser. And that's exactly how I approach this. You know, straight, no chasers. Because if someone doesn't give it to you straight, you're never going to understand and know what you're going through. You're never going to understand how to escape this prison that you're in, because it's a mental and emotional prison that you place yourself into. That is the friend zone. No one put you there but you. A girl, no matter what she says or what she does, she cannot place you in the friend zone without your consent. She cannot put you in that position without your consent. And I'm going to show you how to never ever give that consent to a woman whom you are attracted to. And if you aren't attracted to a woman and she's not attracted to you, you can actually create and build a platonic friendship, because I get you to look at what friendships are and what they're really about, you know. And, you know, there are boundaries that you gotta have and that you cross, you know, when you're dealing with certain females. There's boundaries that she sets for you when you're in the friend zone, and you can't get past those boundaries. And if you do, you could ultimately be creating an enemy within her for no reason whatsoever, just because you're a guy who has feelings for somebody, but she feels like, you know, society has a lot of these young women, their minds are warped based off of what they see in media and what they're reading online and how their friends are acting and what they're seeing and what people are talking about on Facebook and social media and things like that. I mean, people's minds are warped. Let's get you back to reality, man. That's what I'm trying to do, is get you back to reality, because I've peeped, I've watched, I've been through it. I've seen other guys going through it, young and old, you know, and I get actual perspective and feedback from guys who are older and from guys who are younger and from some girls, okay? And, you know, honestly, I believe the information I'm going to provide to you is going to help you out. If you're the kind of guy who is like me, if you're the kind of guy right now who is still hell-bent on turning this girl's interest to you, sexual or relationship-wise, intimate-wise, romantic-wise, if you're still hell-bent on that with this girl, this podcast is not for you. This podcast is not for you if you want to turn your friend zone relationship with this girl around so you can start fucking her or be in a relationship with her. This podcast is not for you. It may help you if you listen to some of the stuff, but ultimately, I am not going to sit here and give you any information that says, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do that, do this at this time, do this at that time. That's what pickup artists are for. That's what dating gurus are for. That's what they're for. I am not a pickup artist. I am not a dating guru. I touch down on some of this stuff because they are all kind of intertwined. But essentially, that's not what I necessarily am here to do. Some women are going to listen to this podcast and they're going to be pissed off and angry. And they're going to want to hit me up and tell me their thoughts and their views. Go right on ahead. I don't really care. Because I'm not going to stop putting this stuff out. I think I did about 30, 35 episodes. Okay, they all range. They could be as short as 25 minutes, as long as 45 minutes. But essentially, the information is going to lead you to thinking about stuff in different directions. If you hear something and it doesn't fit you, or you don't agree with it, so be it. I can't stop you from agreeing or disagreeing with what I'm saying, what I'm going to put out there. All I ask is that you listen to everything in full before you decide to say, I don't agree with anything this guy is saying right now. If you're the type of person who's going to say that, if you're thinking that you don't agree with anything that I'm saying, more than likely, you have a whole different agenda when it comes to being in the friend zone. More than likely, you have an agenda of getting out of the friend zone only to turn around and bang the girl that you like, or be in a romantic relationship with the girl you like. This is more about, hey, how do I stop myself? My podcasts are about men saying to themselves, how do I stop myself from being thrust into the friend zone when I don't want to be with the girl that I'm attracted to? And how do I deal with my feelings and my emotions and my mindset when I decide to walk away or turn away from this woman, or when I see something about this happening and I know from the gate she's going to put me in the friend zone, I'm not going for it. How do you deal with yourself after that? You know what I mean? There's a lot of women out there, a lot of women that want to date you, that don't want to put you in the friend zone. Not even just that, are they worth it? Are they worth it? Are they worthy of what you're doing? Not saying they shouldn't know their worth, but when I say are they worthy, it means to you. If you know what's going on with the friend zone and how these women are acting towards you, if you understand what's going on in situations, you can pinpoint other women that no matter if you're in the friend zone with them or not, you can pinpoint things that women are saying to you and how they're saying and how they're talking and how they're treating you that can give you signs from the gate to know who to stay away from and who to deal with. I don't have a lot of female friends. I got very few female friends. I don't be friends with women. As a matter of fact, when I talk to women these days, more than likely it's because I'm attracted to them, or because they work at somewhere that I frequent or something like that, or they work with me and I have to work with them because we're colleagues. Because deep down inside, I'm at the point where I'm a lot older now. Okay, I got kids. Okay, and I got 2 young boys, and well, the one's older now. He's past 18, and I got a little 4-year-old and stuff. And I want my oldest son to listen to this stuff, or at least hear this stuff. I try to teach him these things, but when you're a teenager, you're at the mindset of mom and dad don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they're not in this situation anymore. They're older. Things are different, and they really don't understand that things really aren't different. You may be in a different time and even a different environment, but essentially people are going to be the same. Okay, it's just how you take this information and how you process it and use it towards yourself. So I'm hoping that what you hear, you're going to enjoy, that you're going to learn from, that it's going to be insightful for you. And I really hope that it helps you to being a better person for yourself, and loving yourself more, and just respecting yourself more, respecting the females that you're dealing with more, so that you don't get into these situations with them that honestly you may not even be able to get out of, or you don't feel you can get out of. All right, so with that said, please go on to the first episode. Go on to any episode, doesn't matter which one you want to go to. Start with one title one that may kind of like grab you, and then take it from there. And just, if you hear something that really sticks with you and resonates with you, write it down. I implore you to download the shit. Find a YouTube downloader and download it. Listen to the shit later or whatever, because that's what it's there for. You need this knowledge, and to the women who don't agree with anything I'm going to say, who are going to hate me for what I'm going to say, oh well. Deuces.